Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bristol Township Zoning Hearing Board. I'd like to get started by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remove your hats. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let me introduce you to a few people. To my left is our solicitor, Keith Billymeyer. Director of L&I is sitting down there at the table is Bob McTeague. Our stenographer, Cindy Oliveira. I'm going to call the board for the record. Ed Murphy and Mark DeMarcus are excused tonight. Colleen Dunn.
Here.
Gerard Lycon.
Here.
Andy Gorillo.
Here.
Jim McMahon here. All right, let's get started on the agenda. It's a fairly long one tonight. So number one on the agenda is JMAC Investments LLC, 20 Markham Court, Langhorne. Please come on up.
Amandio. I am here tonight on behalf of the applicant, JMAC, of which Jamie McCafferty, who's seated in the front row, is the owner, as well as Chris Levins, who is the general contractor for the project that you're about to hear about, as well as the professional engineer, Mikhail Zivaskin. Did I get it right? Thank you.
Not an engineer, surveyor.
Oh, excuse me, thank you. Surveyor, thank you. This evening, we're talking about the tax parcel number 05011-022 on 5th Avenue in Bristol. The property is 4,220 square feet, which is an existing nonconformity and is located in the R3 zoning district. It's highlighted here in yellow on the screen, indicating the irregular shape. I'd note that there is a small box from the county. This comes from the county GIS website. That is not present on the property. There is no a structure currently that is on both of those properties, as you see there. The applicant seeks to construct an 800 square foot home, detached dwelling, and a driveway at this location, which is currently a vacant lot. In order to do so, the applicant requires variance relief from the zoning ordinance to permit a side yard of 6 feet and 5.1 feet on either side. So it'll be 6 feet on this side over here, 5.1 feet on this side over here. The ordinance requires 2 side yard setbacks with an aggregate width of 14 feet, neither side being less than 6 feet. So therein lies the request for relief. Due to the irregular and narrow shape of the lot, there's no other place in the property that the applicant would be able to construct a home. The proposed development is consistent with the surrounding properties, and I'd submit to you, so here's the another aerial view of it, but right here's the property we're talking about. I note back here with regards to keeping in kind with the community that the property in the back, here's a photograph of it where the where the setback here is actually less than 3 feet. This is the front of the home just by way of reference. And again, you can see right here on the county GIS map that it's a very, very small setback on that side of the property. The variance relief, if granted, represents the minimum that will allow the applicant to make reasonable use of this, again, non-conforming property. And again, you can just see by the shape of it that it certainly doesn't look like the other various parcels. So with that, I'd ask if I could have the professional surveyor come up and testify a little bit as to the actual plan, and then I will have Mr. McCafferty confirm much of what I've just said. Hello.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Mikhail, you are a professional surveyor. Is that
Yes.
accurate?
Yes.
I'm going to seek the board's direction. Mr. Zivaskin has appeared many times before you as it relates to him being a professional surveyor. If you'd like for me to go through the qualifications as an expert, I'm happy to do so, but I'll take the board's direction.
It's a pleasure, the board.
I'm okay. I'm good.
Thank you, appreciate it. Tender Mr. Zyvaskin as an expert in professional surveying. Can you tell the board, did you prepare the plans for the home and thus property? Sorry, there you go.
Yes.
I'm going to hand you this. You will only need the next slide, and you can do it by that. Can you tell the board specifically what is it that the applicant seeks to construct on that plan?
Actually, this is just a deed plat plan. We didn't do actual survey yet. This is the concept plan. And what we, is it pointing?
The middle is the pointer.
And it's basically, this plan says itself, it's just gonna be a rectangular building, driveway for two car.
What kind of building?
Rectangular building.
Thank you.
And a driveway.
Okay, and you can see by the photograph on the screen that it is rather irregular in shape. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
And can you opine that because of such physical conditions, there really is no other possibility to develop this property in a way without a variance being requested, given what is being proposed from an inside and functionality perspective?
yeah, I think so, because this is a relatively small house. It's not a giant house, and it's like no reason to make it smaller.
And can you opine that this particular hardship was not created by the applicant, correct?
Correct.
Meaning he purchased it this way, okay? Do you agree that if this variance is approved by this board, that it will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood or be a detriment to the community, neighborhood, or certainly the township in general?
Yes.
Okay. And are all of your statements this evening to a reasonable degree of certainty in the field of professional surveying?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think the board should know by way of presenting the plan and the variance that we are seeking on either side of the home?
Not really.
Okay. With that, I'd like to ask the applicant to testify, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Jamie, come on up.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. McCafferty, can you tell the board, so far, everything that you've heard from me tonight, is that all accurate?
Yes, it is.
And you understood everything I said?
I did.
Do you agree with everything that I've said thus far?
I do.
And you're asking this board to grant this single variance so that you can make reasonable use of this property that you now own?
That's correct.
Okay, I'll ask this. Are you willing to adopt my statements as your testimony this evening to the board?
I am.
All right, so you have this particular company that has built many, many homes. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
And in fact, you have built, is it 38 homes since 2019 in Bristol Township alone?
Yes.
And even more renovations. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And can you tell the board, how many times have you appeared here and asked them to grant a variance on one of the homes that you have built in Bristol Township?
This is the first time.
Never once been here before and said, I need relief here?
No.
Okay. And with regards to this plan, I'm going to move to the next slide. We are here tonight asking for a side yard setback. Accurate?
Yes.
But candidly, you've been made aware of some concerns that the neighbors had, correct?
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that we're crystallizing for the board exactly what we want them to look at, which is on either side, we need the setback. However, you have reached out to the neighbors to try to ameliorate any of their concerns. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Either way, you intend to build a home on this property.
That's correct.
To that end, you even have a by right plan, correct?
Yes.
I just want to state again, you've never asked for a variance in Bristol Township before, correct?
That's correct.
So why not just build that house where you don't need a setback, side yard setback variance?
Well, the functionality of the home would be negatively impacted with the stepped-in side yard. It's a 20-foot wide home at the front, so to step it in, it's a 1.5 feet each step in. You're getting down to a 17-foot wide home. 20 is a narrow home to begin with. Once you were to put a doorway to the backyard in the back of the home, that's generally where the kitchen's going to be located. You're losing wall space for cabinets. The back wall becomes, you really lose it for what its use is in the kitchen.
And so the home, in other words, it would be so small that you lose all functionality of the home that you're trying to create, correct?
Correct.
And so just to be very clear, from what you can see, so we have a 6-foot setback on this side, and the request is the 5.1 on this side, accurate?
That's accurate.
And to your understanding and knowledge, if we had 8 feet on this side, this would be by right, there'd be no issue, accurate? Meaning we needed at least 14 aggregate.
That's correct, and we designed it in this manner to create the minimum impact on neighbors. There's obviously a neighbor to the plan left, so we are using a 6-foot side yard setback, which is the minimum required by right. And to the right, there is I believe it's the Delaware River Port Authority that owns the land directly to the right of the parcel, and then,
Right here?
yes. And then further back, there's a very deep backyard, which is owned by the home facing 4th Ave, which I don't believe there's some overgrowth and brush back that far.
And so, in terms of a side yard setback, it's not like you're looking into somebody's bedroom over here. The
That's
homeowner
right.
wouldn't be looking into someone's bedroom over here.
Correct.
And as stated, this over here would be 6 feet, accurate?
Yes.
Okay. We understand that there are neighbors here in opposition this evening, and again, you've reached out to them, correct?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell the board a little bit about the nature of your interactions and what you have offered by way of courtesy and simply being a good neighbor?
I reached out to see if they had any concerns that I could address, by way of maybe some bushes or a fence or something along those lines. I wasn't sure exactly what the concerns were initially, and even after the conversation, I still wasn't able to get a clear picture of the concern. So there was no agreement made.
Okay, and is it fair to say that you learned that there was a concern for parking as it relates to the parcel to the left of your property, right here, the homeowner here?
Yes.
And can you tell the board a little bit about the driveway that you intend to construct adjacent to the proposed home and the dimensions of it?
Yes, so the driveway would be a 4-car driveway. The home is a smaller home. It's an if the variance is granted, it's an 800 square foot home. So it would be a 3-bedroom, not a 4. 4 cars off-street parking should be more than sufficient for the family that ultimately moves in.
Did you have any conversations with the homeowner of this home right here indicating that you have no intention of parking in a way that obstructs his ability to use his home?
So I did not hear from the neighbor that parking was an issue. I was informed of that concern through my attorney.
Through me?
Yes.
And isn't it true that you directed me to reach out to the neighbor to try to broker a conversation of consideration, let's be
Yes.
good neighbors, that kind of thing?
Correct. First time coming for a variance, I did want to try to make every effort to address the neighbor's needs.
And to that end, at one point in your conversation, you learned that he has a small child who had concerns about a snake or possibly snakes in the adjacent brush to your home, approximately right in this area. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And how did you respond to that concern?
We had it all knocked down.
And you did so simply because you wanted to assuage his concern of anything potentially dangerous to his child. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think this board should know in making a determination as to whether or not to grant this single variance so that you can erect a beautiful home on that parcel, which is quite irregular, as you can see?
I don't think so. I mean, we certainly want to be responsible. Getting variances to build homes is not part of our business model. We build by right whenever possible. With 38 homes built in the township and no variance requests, this is obviously an odd lot with an irregular angle to the back, and it's what generates the need for that variance, just that back corner of the home.
That's all I have by way of testimony and presentation. We'll handle any questions.
Anybody have any questions from the board?
I do. When you purchased this lot, were you aware that you were gonna need a variance?
When I purchased the lot, I didn't have a particular building envelope in mind. I knew that the lot was gonna be limited, and the home that would be built there would have to be a smaller home than what I would normally build. Until we got the existing features plan and the setbacks, and because of the angle, you couldn't, if it was rectangular, I would know. You could do that math on the back of a napkin. But with the angle, I didn't know exactly where the setbacks were gonna fall at the rear of the home. I had an idea it was gonna have to be a smaller home, yeah.
And shifting the house forward isn't an option?
It's not an option because you would then encroach in the front yard setback.
Sorry, any other questions?
Gerard?
I'm good.
Colleen? Nope, that's it. All right. Audience participation. Any? Relax. Yeah, right? Trust me, I'm gonna get to you. Relax. Anybody from the audience would like to come up and for or against this project? Come on up, sir.
Hi.
Please. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
Can you state your name, please? and
Jake.
spell?
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
I apologize for the interruption. May I seek clarification as to if any of these individuals are seeking party status? And if they are, I would submit to the board and request the opportunity to cross-examine.
Can you spell your name, please?
First name or last name?
Okay.
J-
If anybody agrees to party status, they can be questioned. Okay?
Jason Jacoby.
J-A-C-O-B-E-Y?
OBY.
Okay.
Okay, I am the owner of partial right next to 05101114, 823 Fifth Avenue.
The tax parcel again?
05011014, 823 Fifth Avenue. I lived on that house, my parents owned that home since 1980, so I've been in and out of that home for 40 plus years. There is no parking, no turnaround in that lot as it is now. There's nowhere for anybody to go. Yesterday, Amazon parked on my yard to turn around 30 feet just to make a U-turn. Even if there is an offset easement driveway pushback, there's gonna be nowhere to turn around. There's 35 acres preserved wetland that the Port Authority owns. It used to be Jack's Marina. There's just nowhere for anybody to go. I understand it'd be nice to have another home. I cut that property for years. I cut Moe's, I cut 830 across the street. He's got ruts in his yard from people turning around. I mean, it's a one-way street. And now with everything being delivered, you can't help it. Another home on that street is just unfeasible. And that's just my opinion. So I vote no. And, okay, is that good enough?
All right. Thank you very much.
a question. You're saying it's a one-way street, or is it a dead-end street?
It's a dead-end street.
So you could go in and out?
You go in, but you have to turn around.
And come
because
out.
Fifth Avenue it
I was
doesn't
on the
run
street.
in a line. When you GPS it, somebody, as they come down, they see Fifth, they'll turn in there, but you're on the wrong 100 block. So you're halfway down the street before you have to turn around and come back. And this is all day long. So now you put everything else in there, just another home on it. And there's already 6 new homes that are on the street in the last 10 years. Another house on there is just too much.
I did hear you say you live on that street, you said a tax parcel. Are you directly to the left of it, or are you up the street a little bit?
Right next to it.
Yeah, I'm right next to it.
To the left.
Yeah, I'm right next to, Mo's house.
I don't know where Mo lives.
He's to the left of that. I own that one there where the pointer's at.
'Cause the
Now,
new
when they
house- there
built,
is-
when they built the partial 013, they were driving on my property to erect it. I didn't make us think about that, you know, I'm like, okay, I got a rock that they put in my front lawn, great. But this is the constant build, when they built the 4 houses to the left side, you know, I dealt with it then. Then when the new owner moved in, they had their professional surveys done, and that was an irregular lot compared to where my lot was, and that gentleman decided to dig up the marker, and he wanted to make it regular. I said, go ahead, put it there, but I'm gonna have to make you take it down. So he put it back to where it was. So, I've been there for a long time. I get it, it'd be nice, it's overgrown, but there's just nowhere for anybody to go. And it's just another house on that street, it's just another issue. And people have been trying to build on it, that's why it's been vacant for so long, because it just doesn't make any sense.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
It wasn't clear to me as to whether or not he requested party status. Thank you.
Good evening. Yes,
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please spell your name, please.
First name is Maimon, Mamon. Last name is Mustafa, Mustafa. I'm on, excuse me. Good evening, members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I represent my client, Mohammed Tuam, whose property is adjacent to the applicants where they're trying to build. I am a Mustafa Esquire here as a representative for him. So obviously my client opposes this and it's for several reasons. To start off, this proposal raises concerns of noncompliance with the proposal raises concerns for noncompliance with R3 zoning regulation, section 27-308, which require a minimum lot of size 6,000 square feet for a single-family home. Additionally, the lot width of 33 feet is far below the 60-foot requirement, undermining the integrity of the community's zoning laws. Also, the house mentioned above, next to it, we were saying it's in nonconformity. According to our research, that was something that was before the new zoning laws for new home constructions. Secondly, going on, approving this construction would not only disrupt the uniformity and aesthetic of the neighborhood, as the proposal would significantly be out of scale with the surrounding properties. The established character of the area depends appropriately on the size lots, which ensures balanced space and consistent property values. A smaller, non-conforming structure could diminish the appeal and the cohesion of the community. Furthermore, granting an exception here would set a precedent for future variance requests, weakening zoning law township-wide. Such a decision would invite developers to prioritize profit over the long-term well-being of our neighbors and our neighborhood, creating a ripple effect of inappropriate development. My client has also gathered a petition signed by numerous neighbors who share the same sentiment and concerns, demonstrating that this issue does not only impact one household, but rather the community as a whole. Finally, I would like to highlight that there are valuable individuals in my client's household. As mentioned, he has 2 toddlers and his wife's pregnant and is expecting a newborn. In the event that this variance is approved and construction starts to happen, it's inevitable that they're going to be right next to his house. There's going to be a bunch of debris and a bunch of dust and chemicals that's going to be affected by the children. For these reasons, I respectfully request the council to deny any variance or approval for construction of the lot. Thank you. Do you want me to, the petition?
Can I get your client's address, please?
833 Fifth Ave. Yep. Do you want me to give you the petition, the signed petitions, the signatures?
Sure, bring it on up. Put this in the record. Do you need this back?
Yes, please. And that consists of everyone on the block with the exception of 3 people who are renting.
Yeah, Keith.
you have a copy of this? Because if you're gonna hand it to the board, we'll have to make a.
I'll make a copy of it. Can I just take a picture of it and I can make a copy?
We'll make it part of the record. And what I'll do is I'll mark it as 833 Fifth Ave, 1.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys want to say it? Okay. Is that all you have?
Yep, that's all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ms. Jackman would like to say it. She could come up and say it. Okay, while Ms. Jackman is looking at that, will anybody else from the audience like to come up? Bob, the concern about the art, that he stated about the R3, do you have anything to add to that?
No, nothing to add. They did show a slide of a by right plan, so.
Okay. All right.
I got a question. I thought if you said it could be built by right, isn't the lot size still too small?
I'm sorry.
It's a non-conforming lot, Andy.
Anybody else? Ms. Jack, go ahead. Anything to add?
I have nothing further to add. I'd simply request that the board grant this single variance to construct another one of the beautiful homes that Jamie McCafferty has put up in Bristol Township. Again, first time he's ever been here requesting a variance for them.
Yeah, I mean, something's gonna be put there. Let's be honest, okay? You know, whether it's by right or we grant this variance. So, that's something that the board's gotta look into, and that's what we're here for. So, at this time, I'm going to, see what the board, pleasure of the board. I need a,
Wait, I think somebody wants to ask a question.
come on up, sir. Are you represented by counsel, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, then your counsel has to come up then. Okay, what, I would imagine you have to tell him what you want to say.
Okay. He wanted to speak on, being that it's his home, he kind of wanted to just give his own sentiment from his heart, honestly, that's all.
Well then, okay. Then, get,
The thing is, I had him, okay.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Can you spell your name, please?
MOHAMAD.
T or C?
TAWAM.
Thank you.
This subject for me is very, very emotional. That's why I didn't want to speak, and I brought him as an attorney. This lot, since I moved, has given me nothing but problems. I've been trying to buy it from, can I just give you guys the runaround, the beginning of the story? So first of all, it took me 4 years from living in my parents' basement with 2 kids to save up money to buy a home, okay? So when I finally was able to have the funds to buy a home, I have 2 daughters and I have a wife, and I want, take them out to a nice neighborhood, and the house was kind of perfect because it was at another block, and I don't have to worry about my kids playing outside or doing anything like that. So when I bought the house, I was told that that lot was part of the house, and I found out after I already put a deposit down, that's not my lot. So it's already too late, bought the house. Find out whose lot it's for. Their mother died, and they began the runarounds. They had cars parked there. There was a car stuck for 9 months. I called, try to get it removed because my kids play around there, and they couldn't get it removed. They reached out to me about the lot to sell it. He gave me a price. I couldn't afford.
Just let out.
They reached out to sell me the lot because I've been trying to buy it from the previous owners. They lost it to an auction. They wasn't paying taxes. And this gentleman right here purchased it. He reached out to me for me to purchase it, but he asked for an amount that I didn't have, and I was trying to negotiate. So he said he'll reach out to me, he never did. And I actually reached out to him after that to see what happened, never responded. I even reached out to him about the grass, so he can cut it. He didn't cut it until like last week because he's trying to build. It's been like months. He ain't come out to cut out the grass. And building a house next to me, it's like, the issue is this, listen, not only is it gonna bring down the value of the house that took me so long to save up to buy and raise my family in, there's literally nowhere for them to.
I think that's hypothetical. I mean, you don't really know that's gonna bring down the value of your
I-
home. I mean,
That's what realtors told me. I spoke to realtors and that's what they said.
okay, that you spoke to a realtor, that's what they.
Yeah.
Have any proof of, I mean, not saying you're lying, but, you know, I can't,
Okay, that's fine.
I can't
No, that's fine.
believe
No,
that.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna bring down the value of your house.
I don't,
just-
okay, that's fine. I don't have any evidence on that. But the problem is as well is with them trying to park their trucks and try to, like, I already have problems, like he said, with the UPS, and he's not, and I'm a house closer to that lot. There's a dead end, there's a fence, like, you can't even park across the street from that lot. And just today, when I was going around getting petitions, I had 3 cars make U-turns on my lawn or in front of my yard, and they even parked there for over a minute. I was walking back down to see what they're doing, and they pulled out.
Is there a dead end sign at the top of that street, Bob? Do you know?
I can't confirm that.
By the time you make the turn,
It's too late.
you don't see the dead end sign.
Okay, all right.
And I'm still interested in purchasing the lot.
Okay.
I have one question. You live directly to the left side of it if you're facing it.
Yeah. No, it's to my left side if I'm facing the street.
Right, if you're facing the property,
Yeah,
you're directly to the left.
yeah.
How old's your home?
A year and a half,
Yeah, it looks like a newer home.
yeah.
Okay. I thought that was the house I seen when I was up there. So that house is a year and a half old, and this person wants to build a house also.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Jackman, anything to add to that, or?
I'd just like to reiterate to the board that we're here for a side yard variance in which the request is to essentially encroach on the side that has no impact on these people. And if, let's say, this lot came all the way out, we might not be here. And so while I appreciate, and I can submit to the board, I've had a lot of conversations with the gentleman that just testified, trying to find a way to come together on this. Because Jamie McCafferty is going to build a home there. We're just asking that it be a better home, a nicer home, where we need to get on the right side 3 feet into that setback. So I ask the board to consider the fact that this is a request for a side yard setback. I also would submit to you that, as Mr. Lycom pointed out, they had the opportunity to build a beautiful home. He should as well. He has to make reasonable use of it. It's in the residential district where it is allowed, their home is allowed. I can understand these neighbors not wanting there to be more people that live there on a small property and on a small driveway, but such is the case that he is allowed by law to put a home there. We're simply asking that you say, it's okay that the home has a little bit of an encroachment on a side that I submit to you really doesn't affect anybody.
Okay. Now. Motion, please.
I'll make a motion to grant it.
I'll
need-
whoops.
Go ahead, Gerard.
I'll second it.
All right. I'm gonna call the board. Andy Guerrero,
Yes.
Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn. No. Jim McMahon, yes. All right, thank you. Next, is Doris Catalini and Diane Kehoe, 29 Young Branch Road, Levittown.
This is just a shed.
Good evening. Barbara Kirk from Hill Wallach. I'm the attorney for the applicants in this matter. I have both of the property owners with me. as well as an engineer to discuss the issue of the impervious surface. I apologize ahead of time. I'm not technologically, adept, so I don't have a presentation for the board.
Do you have your mail-ins?
Yes, I have an affidavit of posting, and I also have copies of the 3 notice letters sent to the 3 property owners. I also have an aerial map behind it showing that the affected house only has a neighbor on either side and across the street. If I may submit. So just to summarize for the board, the property is at 29 Young Birch Road. It is a fairly large lot of 8,400 square feet, has an existing single-family home erected on it. The property owners presently are looking to install an 8x8 shed in the rear portion of the property. Because there is a sewer easement in the rear portion of the property, they submitted and obtained a permit approval from the Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Authority. That permit is dated August of 2022, but I contacted and was told their permits do not expire. I personally spoke with somebody at the Lower Bucks Municipal Authority. As long as the proposed shed stays within the general vicinity of what is shown on the plan. Unfortunately, their proposed shed is going to increase the impervious surface up to, it's going to increase the existing impervious surface by less than 1% because 2 property owners before the applicants apparently constructed concrete and things of that nature on the property, which bumped up the impervious to 44%. So the property owners today have contacted a civil engineer who is prepared, if the board requires, to install a stormwater management facility to offset their increase of impervious surface. And that's the overall summary of everything. I'd like to call Ms. Kehoe first to testify.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes. And if I do get too loud, please tell me. I have a tendency of yelling to compensate for a lack of a microphone. Ms. Kehoe, how long have you lived at the residence?
I've lived there since mid-2019.
And who lives there with you?
My sister.
And both of you have resided in that house since 2019?
Yes.
Other than the shed that we are discussing, what exterior improvements did you do to the property?
When we were first moved in, there was a 12 by 12 patio in the back, and we extended that to 12 by 25 to accommodate our family's needs.
Okay, and at the time that you did the extension of that concrete patio, what measures did you take to get approval from the township?
We had to remeasure everything because when we went, they gave us the plot as built, and it didn't have a lot of the stuff that existed on the home.
And did you obtain a permission to
Yes.
expand that?
Yes, we redid all of it and showed them all the stuff that really was there. We measured everything out, took it to them, and they approved that patio. And they came back and inspected and improved it after.
Okay, so other than the shed and enlarging the concrete patio, you have not laid any other impervious surface on the property. Before you acquired the property in 2019, who lived there?
Shrewsbury's?
Before you?
Oh, before us, my parents lived there.
And how long did your parents live there?
They lived there, well, my father lived there for 6 months, my mom for 5 years.
Okay. And did they, when they lived at that property, do anything to the exterior?
Nothing.
So if I showed you a proposed plan, which is an enlargement of what was attached to the application, and if I may come to the board, I have copies. Give them to your.
Just mark these as A1, as applicant 1. Is that okay?
That's fine, thank you. I didn't pre-mark because I wasn't sure how you would do it. You see the markings in the red, does that represent the measurements that you and your sister took for the
Yes.
permit application, which included a designation of what was installed at the property
Yes.
by the owner to people before you?
Yes.
Okay. And this plan is an accurate depiction of what exists at the property?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you want to install a shed of 8 by 8, correct?
Yes.
And what is the purpose for that shed?
Well, Levittowners are notorious with not having storage.
But you do have a
And
garage, correct?
We do have a one-car garage, but we wanted to be able to put the lawn equipment, the bicycles, seasonal stuff in the shed so that we can actually use the garage.
And you and your sister both, in concert, worked with the Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Authority for the placement of the shed in the rear of the property?
Yes.
So that it wouldn't impede their access to a sanitary
Yes.
sewer line? Okay. And based on the yellow highlighted section, is that the area of where the shed would be
Yes, it
located?
is.
Okay. And did you have a part in preparing the application that we submitted to the board for tonight's hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And was everything in that application true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it was.
I have nothing further of Ms. Kehoe unless the board does. I would like to then call her sister, Doris Kalina.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Kehoe?
No.
Thank you. Ms. Kalina? Now, you've heard the testimony that, sorry.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what's been marked as Exhibit A1, which is, again, the plan with the measurements. Is that an accurate depiction of what exists in the exterior of the property?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before this plan was done, did you create or do measurements of the existing house and the exterior part?
I had to measure everything.
Okay. Now, I know this isn't pretty, and I'm going to present it and ask to be marked as Exhibit A2. Is that your drawing
Yes.
of what was measured? Now, could you summarize for the board what was done to the house before your parents lived there that increased the impervious surface?
Okay, they apparently added, it's practically the size of the original home. They added this section here with the dining room and living room.
And that section used to be what? What area was that before?
I think that might be where the carport was.
Okay.
And then they added a garage and the utility room next to that.
And the utility room now sits behind the garage, correct?
Yes.
And what else did they add by way of concrete along the exterior,
I think they're the ones that did the sidewalk here,
along the side of the house?
porch in the front. And then they did the original patio in the back.
Okay. Now, can you explain to the board why can you not remove a section of the concrete sidewalk in order to put the shed in?
It's only a few feet wide, and that's where they have our furnace, our oil tank.
Okay.
It's above ground.
So there's no other way to remove the concrete without disturbing the oil tank?
Yes.
Now, did you happen to take any photographs of the property as it exists today?
Yes.
And I'm going to show you what I'm asking the board to have marked as Exhibit A3. I told you I apologize. Do you recognize those documents?
Yes.
And it's a series of photographs that you took?
Yes.
And when did you take those photos?
August?
Of this past year?
Yeah, when you had asked us to.
And do these photos all accurately depict the way the property looks today?
Yes.
And these photographs depict all the areas of concrete that were added to the property before your sister and you or
Yes.
your parents lived there?
Yes.
Now, you intend to install the shed again in the rear of the property?
Yes.
Explain to the board, what did the Lower Bucks Joint Municipal Authority tell you about the placement of the shed in order to get their permission?
They just could not cross the 15 feet from the back of the property, cannot cross that line.
So if you go to the rear property line and measure 15 feet forward,
Yes,
what is located there?
their line that we
There's-
cannot inhibit,
Okay, and the proposed shed is going to be how far?
14.
So that is that's acceptable?
Yes, they said it was acceptable.
Okay. And again, you've heard your sister testify that the basis for the shed is personal storage.
Yes,
And have you discussed this request with your neighbors?
yes, they're fine with it.
Okay. Now, in order to offset any increase in the stormwater, what was the proposed plan?
An engineer would come in and, he would make a drainage area.
To help with the runoff if need be?
Yes.
Presently, how does the property handle stormwater?
No issues at all.
Which direction does the water usually flow off the property?
Never even really noticed it flow off the property.
Have you ever had any flooding?
Never.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to the board in support of your application?
No.
Okay. I have nothing further of this witness.
Okay, thank you.
And then lastly, I have Mr. Scalzo, who is the engineer that was retained by the parties.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Sam Scalzo, Scalzo.
Mr. Scalzo, I have your curriculum vitae here. Could you just briefly give the board a background of your occupation and how long you've been involved in engineering?
Sure. Again, my name is Sam Scalzo. I've been practicing engineering in the state of Pennsylvania for approximately 12 years. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state, and I have my Master's of Science in Engineering from the University of Pittsburgh.
Now, how you were retained by the property owners, Ms. Kalina and Ms. Kehoe, to try to come up with a proposed plan to offset any increase in the stormwater?
That's correct.
Now, did you visit the property?
Yes, I did.
And based on your observations, how was the pitch or elevation of the property?
It's a very mildly, gently sloping property. The rear of the property is gently slopes towards Mill Creek.
Okay. And do you foresee, based on your experience as an engineer, that if they installed a 64 square foot shed, that it would have a significant impact on the flow of stormwater at the property?
There would be a very negligible impact, if any at all.
Now, what was the plan that you proposed for them?
So the plan that I designed is a small underground system in which the water from the shed would be directed to the underground system in a system of 2 perforated pipes underground.
Okay. If I may approach, I have a copy of the proposed plan if required. Thank you.
I think we're up to E5.
Thank you. Yes. And where would this system be located on the property?
So the system will be located at the rear of the property between the shed and the rear fence line.
And I noticed on your plan you have the term downspout. Exactly what is that referencing?
So the downspout would direct all the water from the shed into the downspout into the system.
And that would be sufficient to cover any increase of the stormwater runoff imposed by the location and installation of the shed?
That's correct.
And in your professional opinion, as a licensed engineer, this would be sufficient to help offset any issues that could arise?
Yes, it would be.
I have nothing further of this witness.
One downspout?
2 downspouts.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
I have no other testimony. Again, it's such a nominal increase, but unfortunately, the existing impervious surface at the property was significantly increased by prior property owners through no fault of the applicants.
Go ahead, Colleen. No?
I'm looking at your exhibits, I guess, all the photos.
Yes.
Page 2, is that concrete on the side or blacktop? I can't tell, or it looks like a dry patch.
Come up here so they can hear.
Oh, that's grass. I'm Doris.
Again, I apologize, it's you know,
It's
pretty
grass there, but
pixelated,
it
so-
doesn't look like it, but it's like, it's where they used to, I guess there was a tree there at one time or something.
It was a dry summer. I just couldn't
Yeah.
tell what it was.
Yeah,
It
there's
looks
no
like
concrete, there's no blacktop.
And you have to excuse the quality of the photos. Miss Kleena took them using her iPhone, and I tried to enlarge them for the board to be able to see better.
Okay, anybody else have any questions?
Is there any impact of the seepage pit going in the easement where the sewer is?
It would have to go to engineer review to see if there's even a seepage pit required, Andy.
And if I may, just to clarify, and I should have asked Mr. Scalzo, he did have a conversation with the township's engineer, Kurt Schroeder, who indicated that if a seepage pit would be required, this would be acceptable. Is that not correct, Mr. Scalzo?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions from the board? Bob, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Jim.
Okay, audience participation. Anybody like to come up for or against this project? Okay, I need what's the pleasure of the board? I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, I'm gonna call the board. Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Andy Grillo,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I only have two quick questions. Is the approval contingent upon the installation of the system, or is that at the discretion of the township engineer as if it's needed?
I think it's for discretion of the township engineers. Gave a good presentation, so, I mean, I think that's really out of our hands.
That's fine. I just don't want to give them misdirection and not do something. And secondly, these poor ladies have been waiting over 2 years to install the shed, not through the township's fault. How quickly should they apply for a permit again?
They have the permit on file.
Yes.
So they would just have to wait the 30 days.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Manuel Santiago, 904 4th Avenue, Croydon, please come on up.
Testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are Manuel Santiago?
Yes, ma'am. I have, the pictures and the receipts they asked for.
Make sure you speak in the microphone.
Okay. Yes, I got it. Yep. And when you hit the podium, I'm gonna ask you a question about the posting, once you're placed under oath. Okay. Mr. Santiago, you showed me a picture of the posting of your property. Do you know when that placard was placed in the window?
2 weeks ago when they, I picked up, matter of fact, yeah, 2 weeks ago when I picked it up here, I think. Well, no, they sent it to the house, I don't remember. I know it was like 2 weeks ago.
All right, so by code, it has to be posted at least 2 weeks before tonight's meeting. So
Yeah, it was way before that.
Okay.
It was before that.
Great.
Okay, proceed.
It's my first time doing this, so I really don't know.
Take your time.
I'm just here. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm here for. I guess it's for permission for permits. I think Mr. Rob came to my house one time. He told me something about a pervious. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, I never had like a pervious. I never had like an offset. I did build. I got permission for a permit for a pool, and my deck was being built at the same time as the pool. So I was supposed to get. I thought they gave me permission for the pool and the deck at the same time while it was there. Unfortunately, they didn't. And then I also ended up putting extra cement in the backyard, which threw me off my pervious. Pervious is pervious? Yeah, impervious. But I came from Philadelphia. I never had a backyard. I never had no land. Then we moved to Lower Southampton. I came from Lower Southampton. I had the smallest yard in the world, probably. So I never had to pull no permits. So when I think Miss I forgot her name. She had came out and she had told me, Carla. She had told me about the impervious, the cement, and then Mr. Rob. I had called Mr. Rob because I was confused. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what house set. So when he came out, he kind of explained it to me, and then I kind of explained it to him, the reason why, like why I did the yard, and
I didn't know that I needed permits to do this stuff, you know. So that's why we're here now. So I really don't understand this stuff too much, to be honest with you. And the reason why I did do all that stuff in my yard is because I have a son with special needs that's nonverbal, and I try to make something like a safe haven for him. But I never knew that I had to pull permits or get permission to do something back in my own home. That's my mentality coming from Philadelphia. I didn't know when you come to the township, you gotta get permit to do anything. So that's why we're here for today. And then I did get permits for the fence, but I thought when you get the fence built, that comes all part of the plan. So you know that's why that I do got a permit for the fence. But for here today, I think we're here for the cement, and I think for something about the being in the flood zone. But I had got a survey, and the surveyor cleared it up that my land is elevated enough that it's not enough to get flooded. And right now, I'm in communication with FEMA. I signed a LOMA app like a year ago. A LOMA app, application for LOMA to take us off the FEMA flood map. But the surveyor dropped the ball, so we've been constantly back and forth, So recently, I kind of submitted maybe last week, I resubmitted myself to see if I could just try to get us off the flood zone. And that's what I'm here for, to see if I can get a variance to try to keep everything that I put in that backyard. So I don't know, but I don't know what's the next step. I know if we had to come here, that's about it. I don't know.
Do you know how far over the impervious ground you are?
I think it was 40. I think you had told me 40, right? I was up to like 70. 70 is it? 70, right?
Yeah,
70, yeah, 70.
70.01. We're 40.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Setbacks for the garage are 3.6 where it needs to be 5. He's on the property line with the patio and on the side yard line with the pool deck.
So what's the patio for? Just to sit on?
No, the patio is for my pool. I have a pool. I have a above ground pool, but I dug into the ground halfway, and then the patio is to lay out for my son to play. You know, because my son really he doesn't get in the water too much. He likes to sit on the edge.
Yeah.
Because he's on the spectrum. He's autistic, so we kind of built a safe haven for him, so he could have a small enough patio that he don't fall over or trip or something like that. So it's really just for just ready to sit down, lay out, and stuff like that.
There's nothing he could do to get that thing lowered, Bob?
I think the first step was try to get it approved first, and then we can negotiate removing impervious later. But at this time, like he said, he was looking to keep what he had. I was in the backyard. It's very well done.
Yeah.
But there is a lot.
Yeah.
That's way over.
Yeah, we never knew nothing about impervious. And one thing is that I do take care of my property. I've been there 4.5 years, almost 4.5 years. I take very good care of my property. You come to my front of my home, it's always clean. I'm the neighbor that you want to have. So I'm always on top of my. I try to make the neighborhood look a little nice too, because we also live across the street from certain things that I even brought to his attention and stuff, like that I gotta deal with. But as long as my home looks beautiful and my neighbors are all right with it, because both of my neighbors, all 3 of my neighbors that I send the letters to, they're all right with it. The ones next door to us, they just moved in a couple of months ago, and they love our yard. Our prior neighbors, they was willing to even try to do something like that for their yard and stuff like that. But once I told them about the problem I was having with the township, they was like, "Oh my God, that's too much." And so I just here to see if we could try to work something out so I could just keep everything, so I won't have to break nothing up. I do have if the water was a problem, because I've been there 4.5 years, like I said, I never got flooded. I do have a trampoline that's inside the ground, 4 feet inside the ground, and surrounded by cement a little bit. So when it does rain, the water will flow in there. And I also have a French drain on the side of my house that was put there when I first bought the house, and it goes at least 8 feet from the back of the house out to underneath the grass as well.
You have something to add, Bob?
It is in with a engineer review because of the floodplain. If the board wishes, it could be a condition that the engineer make comments on stormwater management installed. Totally up to the board.
Can I make a suggestion of maybe finding counsel and coming back to the board?
Between council.
Has all the calculations been done, or who did all the calculations?
Yeah, there's an engineered plan done, Andy.
Okay.
And that was submitted to Gilmore, like I said, because of the floodplain. And there was several comments regarding zoning and stormwater management.
If he was to do some stormwater management, would this be able to go through?
I can't answer that.
That's up to the engineers.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all you have for your presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I want to get to, public comment. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Santiago?
I have no questions, but I drove by and, place looks great, and, he has a PVC fence all the way around it where it isn't like somebody could look in his property and say, oh my God, it's a problem. I mean, it looks from the street.
Water's, it's not the runoff is the problem. It's not, I'm
And
sure your yard looks beautiful. That's.
And behind your property is what? 'Cause
Water. It's just
it's all woods, right?
As a matter of fact, the guy that was here, their house that just got built, the guy that was here earlier.
Yeah.
Their house, I could see it from my yard.
Yeah.
And when they broke that house down, they used to be like a rancher. They made it to a bigger home, and I could see his house, but nobody could see. Like they literally got like look out the back window to see our house. And behind my house, when they put the cement, it's like on a pitch like that, so the water does run off to the back of the creek. So that's a plus. I don't know that if that's enough, but I don't have no neighbors behind my house. Neighbors.
Okay. Any other comments?
I have a question.
Sure, Colleen.
Sorry. The trampoline, you said it's partially in the ground?
The trampoline can be taken out. I took the netting off, and they dug a hole 4 feet in the ground, and I put it inside the ground.
Okay.
But it's just I could take it off, yeah.
No, that's just and you said it's surrounded by concrete?
Yeah, it's like a little walkway for just in case my son wants to walk, he don't fall or hurt himself on the grass and stuff like that,
How old is if you don't mind me asking?
My son just turned 15. He's nonverbal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's his little safe haven. That's why I said that's like his little safe haven, because we're not able to do certain things like regular families could do. Like go out to parks and stuff like that. So I make that for him. So I don't get to enjoy that. My wife don't get to enjoy that. We enjoy seeing him. So when we come home, that's a safe haven. So it makes me happy.
So when you told us that about the trampoline, you were implying that it was part of like that's where the water went.
Well, that's like it could be a plus. Like if you need like a runoff for the water because it goes in the ground.
That's kind of like part of your stormwater management kind of.
Well, yeah, you want to take it like that? Hey, I'll take it. It'll work out.
Yeah, you're not looking to get rid of it.
No,
right.
I would love to keep it off, but if I have to do something to compromise and with the township, I don't mind. That's not. It was
Even a pool holds water too. That's a plus.
Yeah, that is a plus. And underneath the deck as well too is all like just dirt broken up. So.
All right. Okay. Anybody from the audience? No? Okay. All right. So let's talk about a motion then on a condition, right? The condition that Bob stated. Condition of engineering of the stormwater management is approved. Fair enough? Everybody good with that or no?
I'd like to add
Absolutely.
that if he sells, transfers, or whatever the home, that the trampoline would go before sale, if approved by the board. That if you go to sell or transfer, that trampoline would have to go, and you'd have to
that's fine.
be
Yeah.
in compliance
I don't
with
think we're going nowhere ever.
pervious surface before you
No, that's
sell.
fine. Yeah.
Right before you sell.
Before he sells or even puts it on the market, make sure that it
To take out the trampoline.
I'm sorry, Colin, you said
Like, before he would sell it, that it would be in compliance, like remove the trampoline and the extra concrete or whatever is there.
Yeah,
Okay,
To make it compliant with the impervious service.
that's fair.
Surface, not service, sorry.
Okay. Everybody good? I need a motion.
I'd like to give a motion for it, as long as when he goes to sell it, he has to bring it back into compliance. That means any of the impervious that is impervious has to go back to what it should be. If that means removing concrete, removing trampolines, whatever it means, if you're going to sell a property, I get it, you want to keep it safe for your kid, and that you have to put it back to,
The 40%, the 40%.
put it back to being legal.
Okay,
So I want to give a motion towards that.
A second.
You also have to make the condition that you have to comply with the engineering of the stormwater management as well, Gerard. If you're making a formal motion. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather leave that out on my motion.
Okay,
I'd rather leave it out, and if he goes to sell it, has to go back to,
is there a second on that motion? All right, motion fails. All right, I need a motion on condition of engineering of the stormwater management and the condition of what Colleen stated earlier.
I'll make that motion that it has to
Okay,
be approved by engineering and then go back to to the acceptable impervious surface if it gets sold, transferred.
all right, I'll second the motion. All right, I'm gonna call the board. Andy Grillo,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Gerard Lycon,
yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. There you go, okay?
thank you guys, appreciate
All right,
it.
so you have to go through the township for all the engineering and then take it from there.
Now, how do I do that about the engineering?
We'll be in touch, man.
You'll be in touch? Okay, and then I'll just come back to the township, talk to you guys, I guess. Thank you guys, you guys have a good night.
Yeah. Okay. Chris and Antoinette Voigt. 1121 Harris Street, Bristol. Please come on up.
I do. Yes. Vote. Yes, like election day. So we're here today requesting a variance for our.
Do you have your mail-ins?
Yes, I do.
Yep, please bring them up. Thank you. Just hand them to the solicitor. What's that?
It's on the computer.
Ms. Voigt, do you have,
I'm sorry.
do you have proof that the property was posted? Do you have a picture or some proof?
I seen it.
Gerard's seen it.
That's why I brought my whole bag with me.
Tell you what it looks like.
Then we're good.
It was just a front yard, it's not impervious.
Okay. Basically, we want to put a bigger front step, stoop in front of the house with a portico. Our mother,
Wait 1 second, please. Go ahead, Keith.
The posting of the property.
Oh, sorry.
Was that placed either on the property or in a window? at
right in the
least-
front windows.
At least 2 weeks before tonight's meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can.
in the front windows, facing the street, facing Harrison Street. So my mother-in-law's moving in with us, and she is not in a wheelchair yet, but she is, you know, using a cane and a walker. And we're trying to figure a way to get her into the house easier than up the driveway, through the gate, up the steps, and in the back door. So we want to make the front step bigger. Right now it's about 3 by 5, and we want to make 8 by 8.5. We're gonna take out the current walkway that goes to the street and our mailbox and put it towards the driveway, so she can come up right from the driveway onto the front steps and in the front door. And it would be wide enough eventually, if she ever needed it, if we needed to put an ADA compliant ramp, that we could put her right in the house. That's pretty much it.
You said you did a PowerPoint.
I don't have the cord. I can give it to you if you want to see it.
I was looking forward to it. Yeah.
It's 4 screens. It's the picture of the house, the picture of the new house, and that's pretty much it. I do have a picture of the house on my phone if you want to see it, of the way it is now.
Yeah, that's not what it looks like.
No, that's not what it looks like.
Ain't what I see.
No. Well, you know what it is.
Okay, so that's all you have, right? How much over are we talking, Bob?
2%. Front yard setback is 9.4, and side yard setback is 3. Side yard setback is 3. I think it's 9.4 to the porch, and then the steps will bring it to 6.2, I believe.
I see it.
Bring it up. You can bring it up.
I thought she was talking to me.
Okay, you're just extending that. Okay. Okay, you can show the other board members if you'd like.
That's what I seen.
What'd you say?
So that's what I seen.
Yeah. Spoke in my house.
Okay, thank you.
I did already, thank you.
Okay, comments, concerns, questions, anybody on the board? Nothing? Okay. Audience participation? Anybody? Okay, Bob?
Nothing, Jim.
Hit me with a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Andy Grillo,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn. Jim McMahon, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Enjoy.
All right. Michael and Rachel Marshall, 21 Fireside Lane, Levittown. Please come on up. Everybody gets it. Hello. Do you have your mailings? Mhm. You hand them to our solicitor right there.
Ms. Marshall, the property was posted with the placard that the township gave you, is that correct? Yes. Do you know when the date of the placing of that placard on the house was? November 22nd. Great, thank you.
Okay, you can proceed.
sorry. We are requesting a variance to extend our kitchen, basically is the main request. Right now, there's a gap between our home and our garage. So we are looking to basically utilize that space as livable space, and put a foyer with a laundry room and a kitchen extension. I don't know what that puts us over on the impervious. I think it was 2%.
Yeah, 2.1%. Building area is 29.8, where 25 permitted, and that is it.
Okay.
We spoke with all of the neighbors across the street, as well as both next door and behind. And the main neighbors that would see it, really, because it's in between the house, would be the one in the front and the one behind us. But we did get an okay from everyone.
Right. Good? Anybody from the audience? I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Any questions from the board? I'm sorry.
No, good.
Concerns? Comments? Eileen? Nope. Okay. Now audience participation. Anybody? Okay, I didn't think so. All right, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Gerard Lycon.
Yes.
Colleen Dunn. Eddie Grillo.
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving right along. Where were we here? All right, number 6. Rodney and Michelle Farrell, 1724 Sheldon Avenue, Croydon. Please come on up.
I'll speak. I'm Rodney.
Please raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Hi, Frank.
And you're Rodney, R-D-N-E-Y? F-A-R-R-E-L-L?
Yes, please come on up, sir.
Mr. Farrell, you handed me some documents, one of which is a picture showing the property was posted. You believe that the date that this was posted was November 22nd?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, you can proceed.
Yes, I'm here seeking to build an addition to my house. The addition along Prospect Avenue is an extension of a non-conforming setback, and we are not projecting further into the setback, simply extending the line of the existing structure.
Okay, that's it?
That's all.
That's all you got. Okay. Short and sweet, right to the point. All right. So, Bob, you got anything to add to this application?
No, sir.
All right. Any questions from the board members?
Did you already start the construction on this property?
We're replacing siding.
Yeah, because I seen the tie vac and all that on it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Andy?
Nothing.
Holly? Nothing. All right, well, how about anybody from the audience? Okay, wow. Not bad.
I'll make a motion to approve.
What's that, Andy?
I'll make a motion to approve. I might jump the gun.
Ready to go home, or?
I have no complaints with his motion, sir.
All right, I got a motion to approve. I need a second on the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. We're doing great here. Everybody gets a variance tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, call the board. Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Andy Rillo,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn, Jim McMahon, might as well, yes. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Do we need to resubmit for permits now? Okay.
No, you just have to wait the 30 days and then you'll get a call. All right?
I think that's already real fun. All right. Mr. Patel, please come on up. 1100 Green Lane, Bristol. These are always fun.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And you are Gerard?
Yeah, Kiran Patel.
J-I-R-A-N?
Yes.
P-A-T-E-L.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Yep, it is on. Yep. I'm requesting a variance to allow truck parking.
Hold on one second, sir. Do you have your mail-ins or?
Mailings, there was only 2 properties. One is the hotel and one is the house next to it. Behind the property is the train tracks.
Okay, do you have proof that the property was posted, the placard that the township gave you?
I don't have any proof, but they
Okay.
posted it on a pole.
Okay, and you know the date that it was posted?
It was posted on the day we picked up. It was 14 days prior.
14 days prior? Okay, Cindy, you got, you're okay. And, Mr. Patel, if you could just hit, you can go back to the microphone, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. You submitted an application, and on your application on page 2, it states conditional use. This is not a conditional use request, because the board would not be able to hear that.
Okay.
This is, what you're asking for is a variance, and it'd be a permitted use, Bob, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, Mr. Patel, you'll need to amend, you can just state, that you agree. What you need to do is just amend your petition to withdraw the conditional use language, and you're
Yes.
asking for a use variance,
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
okay?
Okay. Proceed.
I'm requesting a variance to allow truck parking for the hotel in that empty lot.
Okay. Tractor trailers, box trucks,
Yes,
anything that says considered a truck.
truck, yes.
All right. Okay. Bob, anything?
I just came in as a code enforcement complaint, Jim. There was probably, I think, 8 to 10 at the time when we were out there. They were served notice, and then the owner did put a caution tape ribbon across the front of it so no trucks can access, and that's
Right.
why they're here today.
Okay.
And I was unaware. We've been using that parking lot for truck parking from 2001.
Okay. So you own the
The hotel,
on-
yes.
Okay.
We own the hotel and the house next to it also.
Okay. And now you own this property too.
We own the this property from 2001 also, like my family owns it. They own the property from 2001. The company.
So it's not permitted to use as truck park?
It is not.
Gotcha. So he needs a variance to have that happen?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, your business have a lot of tractor trailer, like truckers?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Would, if this variance wasn't granted, would that put a damper on?
Yes, it will affect the business.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any?
Yeah, I would
Go-
like to add something to this.
Sure. Go ahead, Gerard.
This is located at Route 13 in Green Lane, right where PennDOT did all that work with the turnpike where they, and the Wawa's there also, where they got rid of the overpass and now there's red lights. That traffic in that area is absolutely horrible. I drive it all the time. Also, to be backing trucks, which is tractor and trailers, to pull them up and back in there and block the intersection, or at least block Green Lane to back in there. It's just not a safe area to even consider putting a truck parking in there. That's my point of view. That area is a very bad area for trucks and traffic. I drive it all the time. It's always seems to be a problem. I tow a lot of accidents right there where the turnpike and Wawa's. I tow accidents out of there. I don't think it's a good place for a truck parking to be parking trucks there, trucks and trailers. It's just I feel a bad area. That's my point of view. That's all I have to say.
Do you have any traffic studies or anything like that?
No.
Do you have enough room to turn around in there? Or?
No, I have not done anything like that.
I know it's probably a general question, but what else can you put there if this is not?
I believe it's zoned commercial, so there's a lot of permitted uses allowed to, Jim. Just truck storage is not one of them.
Okay. All right, so something can be built there if it need be.
Correct.
All right. Anybody else, colleague?
The trucks that are there, well, that were there, do the drivers stay at the hotel, or do you rent the lot for the trucks?
No, they stay at the hotel.
And you ensure that that those trucks are, I guess, staying at your lot, at the hotel?
Yeah, we give them like a sticker to put it on the mirror.
So what happens if they don't, or if they're not staying there, just say they're doing like a 4-hour stop just to close their eyes for 4 hours? Do you allow them to stay there? Do you charge them? Do they?
No, we don't charge anything. If they come to ask us, the hotel, that parking is only for the hotel guest only. And we don't rent that space.
Thank you.
They do park it illegally most of the time, but we don't allow, like we don't rent that space.
So is that where they're parking, is it at a separate entrance than the hotel entrance?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's across the street.
Okay, right, all right.
Bob, has there been any problems over there, violations?
Yeah, we've had some violations with the truck parking being one, and then there was I don't know if it was a homeowner next to it, but he was working on vehicles in that parking lot, and then there was a storage container that was dropped in there as well. So yes, there has been some active violations at the property.
So it's not, well, I guess, taken care of by the owners. They just let whatever happens there.
At that time, no. It was
Okay.
not yet.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody from the audience like to come up? Okay, yeah, it's a pleasure of the board.
I'd like to put a motion against it.
All right, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll call the board. Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Andy Grillo,
Yes.
Elaine Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. All right, sorry, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And last but not least, Simba Learning Center, 1006 Village Drive, Croydon, PA. Please come on up.
Anastasia. Anastasia, A-N-A-S-T-A-S-I-Y-A. And last name, F-L-A-X. X. Mhm. Yes, Flux, yeah. Mhm.
And the date that was posted?
It was November 26th.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you on the record when you get back. Ms. Flax, you showed us a picture of the property was posted. You stated that that placard was placed in the window November 26th?
Yes,
Is that accurate?
it was like 14
14 decks exactly
Okay, great.
before, yeah.
Okay, proceed.
Good evening, everybody. We are Symbol Learning Center. My name is Anastasia Flux. I'm the owner, and this is Anastasia Kaptevskaya. She's also the owner. We want you to know a little bit of us, who we are, and what we can give to the Bristol Township community. My name is Anastasia, and I'm originally from Belarus. I got my degree in philology there, and I speak 5 languages. I also got degree in musical degree, and I playing 3 musical instruments, and also I played in orchestra in my native town. In USA, I got my degree in nursing. I have bachelor degree in nursing and bachelor degree in nursing. Yeah, I'm so nervous. I'm so sorry.
Relax.
And now I'm working on my master's degree as well, and I'm labor and delivery / pediatric nurse at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia and Grandview Hospital. And for sure, I love working with families and children. Anastasia, also from Belarus, and she graduated from European University of Lithuania, and her major was Lithuania, I'm so sorry. And her major was communication. When she moved to United States, she worked as a teacher assistant, and later on, she worked as a teacher in daycare. And she gained great experience there, and it's confirmed her belief that she wanted to work with children and their families, and also it's all she wanted in her life. Gaining this experience and learning how education system works inspired her to open own daycare. It's all about us. And now we are here for consideration variances to allow off-street parking and recreation area for daycare at 5921 Bristol Emily Road, Levittown, tax parcel 05037-016. Okay, it's 2 parts, parking spaces and outdoor recreation area. I will begin with outdoor recreation area. I'm sorry. State regulation, Title 55, Chapter 3726, 3726, Title 55. It's State of Pennsylvania child care regulation. State regulation requires 45 to 65 square feet of outdoor recreation space per child, depending on their age. Our facility has a total of 1328 square feet designated for this purpose, which ample space for our 21 students. Additionally, each class will have their own structured schedule for outdoor activities, ensuring that all children benefit from the available recreation area. Also, we are going to maximize usable outdoor space, like vertically. We're gonna like do more like vertically, like area, whereas like we're gonna use less space for like equipment, and kids will have like more space to play. Also, we're going to rotate, as I mentioned before, usage to ensure children have sufficient time outside. And also, in my thought, we can collaborate with parks, local communities, centers, and gyms for additional outdoor activities. Local community centers and community centers, parks, gyms, gyms, yeah, like for additional outdoor activities. It's all about outdoor recreation area I have. And now parking spaces. As I mentioned before, our daycare will accommodate 21 students, and according to township requirements, of a minimum of 8 parking spots will be sufficient for our needs. We believe this complies with local regulation and meet the demands of our operation. we are small business where we're gonna work by ourselves. I'm going to be like director, and also Anastasia will be a teacher because she has education, I have education. We can also provide not only emotional, psychological, but also because I have medical education, we can accept children who like need like extra help with studying. Also, how we can solve this problem. We can maybe agreement with nearby businesses and facilities for like parking spaces, because we don't need like too much, because people gonna be dropped off. It's gonna be like 4 or 5, maybe 5-10 minutes, and plus all people usually come in different time, and I'm confident that above measures effectively address. I'm confident about measures. Yeah, that it's gonna help us with parking concerns without compromising the functionality and also safety for, not compromising the functionality and also safety for our daycare. It's our plot. It's existing parking. I know why on the plot it's just 7 spots, but it's actually like 8 parking spots. 7 will be just regular and 1 will be handicap. Also on the picture, I'm not sure how to use it. Is it our existing loading yard for now, because this business was used for, it was commercial construction business, but we're gonna clean up, we're gonna put the fence and gonna do this like place really safe. Yes, it's plot, and it's proof that Anastasia complete the course with state. It was 4 hours online and 4 hours in person, where they discuss about all state regulation for daycares. Okay, it's our schedule example. We're gonna welcome in children. We're gonna provide like survey what needs community, like what community have needs, like what time. Usually it's like we starting at like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. They're gonna do morning exercise, kids gonna have breakfast, speech development activity, art and crafts, sculpturing. Also they will have snacks, outdoor play, lunch, nap time, music class, again snack, like logic class, and like free play. A logic snack, calligraphy, and calligraphy, I'm sorry, and logic class, and free play. And free play as well. And our values, why you need our daycare in your community. First of all, we're gonna provide friendly atmosphere, psychologically comfortable environment, high level of education, motivating environment. Our main goal is maximum of transparency in all aspects and trusted partnership with parents. And also our goal, partnership with parents. And also our main goal, build stronger community. Also did my own research. Kids in our facility can learn additional language. 10.3% of residents of Bristol Township are foreign born, and they multilingual, and average household is 2.6 kids, what reflecting strong family-oriented community. Also, Bristol Township unemployment rate is approximately 4.2%. It's pretty stable labor market, but also it indicates room for creating more job opportunities, and we can provide some jobs for people, local people in our daycare, and also job opportunities, and particularly in childcare services, which can support working families and contribute to economic growth. And also we can provide flexible hours that will accommodate diverse schedules. And I believe our daycare will strengthen the community by providing safe and enriching space for children. And questions?
How many employees are you gonna have?
For the kids, we have this, for now, we planning, let me count. It will be like around 6 to 8.
Is your parking only out front?
Yes, because the back, it's gonna be a playground.
So the front looks like there's maybe 8 parking spots. How many is there?
Yeah, it's 8 parking spots. Yes, 7 just regular and 1 gonna be
What's the
handicap.
bottom line on the parking issue here?
The bottom line would be 13.
Okay, so you're 5 under. Okay.
Because when we read the, it says we need like 1 parking spot per 6 children, as I believe, and as requirement per township.
Okay.
The employees will be parking there, is that correct?
It's all depends because some people, if it's someone local, maybe they using public transportation. I cannot say exactly if they're gonna use cars, but some of them probably
All
yes.
full-time employees? Or some
Usually no. Usually people working like part time because the schedule pretty long, and people working like 8 hours. They live in and like 8 hours.
So there'll be different shifts of different people, so.
Yep.
Them parking spots, after 4 hours possibly, would be open for other employees to come and park. Just hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the old, what, KISS Electric site?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Colleen?
I do, only because of the parking issue, and I live by that road, it's a very busy road. How do you anticipate drop-off and pickup? Because that could be your busiest time, and if people are picking up at 5 o'clock, that road there by Green Lane, the light it's a lengthy light. So, and people aren't always paying attention, so that's just a safety hazard.
I think we can provide like a big signs that it's here like daycare located, that it's kids there. Maybe we can discuss also with township to maybe put like crossroad like between when the people should stop, or maybe we can hire someone like part-time who can like where's like peak time they can stay with like stop sign, or I can do it by myself like I'll multitask. Yeah, I can do it like now, like to provide safety for the kid.
So you won't have access to the rear of the building? That wouldn't be a way for them to drop off in the back and, have your parking in the front for your employees?
I believe there are nothing like behind it's like
fenced off, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be like fence, yeah, like on the all like 4 sides.
I know when I pulled in, when I had to back out, you almost have to back out in the street to get out. Just pretty tight in there. You're gonna have people dropping off and picking up, and especially in the wintertime, it's dark. It's far enough from the red light. I'm not worried about the red light. It's pretty far from that. I'm very familiar with the area.
So you guys purchased this property already?
No, we just lease it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you lease
we signed the contract. Yeah, and we provided all documents at the end of October, like all the copies, 8 copies.
Right.
Yeah, to them.
Have you looked at any other properties in the township? Just this one?
Yeah, just this one.
So you already got a signed lease?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Are you done with your presentation?
What's the age of the children, approximately?
It's like one. I have.
This is pre-K, before kindergarten.
Yeah, it's gonna be preschool, young toddler, and older toddler.
Okay.
I was like 2 from 8 to 5. No infants.
Okay. Anybody from the audience? Sir, please come on up.
My turn.
Hi.
I so affirm.
Can you state your name, please?
My name is Ralph McClellan, MCCLELLAN. ELLA, anything close. AN. I'm here representing the First Presbyterian Church of Levittown at 5918 Emily Road, which is like right across the street. In the interest of full disclosure, we have a pecuniary interest in the applicant in that we have a child care center in our church Monday through Friday that's paying us rent. So this will be a competitor. I understand that this is a use by right, and the fact that we're competition has no legal validity, but we're still concerned about the parking, of course. Well, what exactly is the variance for? As I read the ordinance, you have to have one spot per teacher, one per administrator, one per employee, and one per every 6 children. So I guess you round that up to 4. So what's the variance for? How many spots do they have and how many do they need?
They have 8, required would be 13. And then the second variance is for the recreation area.
Yeah. So they're 5 over?
Correct.
Oh.
5 under.
5 under.
They're under, oh.
Under.
So they're required to have 13, up to 13?
Correct. They're required to have 13 spots. They only have 8 on the property.
Oh, they're short. They're short then. They're legally short.
They're under, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they're here for.
Well, we're against the variance, of course. I have no other questions unless the board has one of me. I have no other questions unless the chair or the members have a question.
I have no questions. I understand your point of view, but
Yeah.
it has real no bearing on.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the parking issue. We've had tenants in that building before, like the KISS Electric people. We tried to work out an agreement with them for parking, and they didn't come through, they didn't pay. So we would be reticent in granting these folks the extra parking space, because we've had a bad experience in the past that they don't pay, and there's liability issues as well, so.
Sure.
So I'd have to tell the applicants here, I had to tell them here and now, we don't want them or their clients parking in our lot, which is across the street.
Not even an option.
Yeah.
I don't want to cross it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Is Simba a franchise, or is this a small business?
Something I'll have to relay to.
Is it a franchise?
No, just small business, it's small family business.
Okay.
I would say like friends business.
Yeah, because there's like a franchise around Illinois that uses the same logo and name. I was just curious.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
I'll make a motion to deny the application.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Well, Andy Grillo,
Yes.
Gerard Lycon,
Yes.
Colleen Dunn,
Yes.
Jim McMahon, yes. Sorry, girls.
Sorry.
All right. I need a motion to adjourn, please. Anybody?
I'll give a motion to
Second.
adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.